Welcome to our 11 o'clock meeting. We're starting this meeting with two back-to-back executive sessions. First one was building and planning, potential litigation, which will be approximately 15 minutes. And second is human resources collective bargaining. That will also be 15 minutes. So we will adjourn to executive session.
The board is extending the executive session an additional 15 minutes until 11:30 a.m. The board is extending the executive session an additional 10 minutes until 11:40 a.m.
Okay, we're back from executive session with building and planning. No decisions were made, and with human resources, no decisions were made. We'll head on to our next session, building and planning. I got them.
Good morning. Almost good afternoon. Tracy Jackson, Director of Building and Planning. Just making the board aware, tomorrow at 10, you have a closed record hearing on the Sidetown Road, 11 lot subdivision on 27 acres. There's been no opposition to the application. I just wanted the board to know, but it'll be the parties of record that will be able to speak tomorrow, as well as any board discussion with staff. So we'll be available. We'll have the list of applicants who spoke or were parties of record, but this one should be, I'm hoping, smooth sailing. So if the board has any questions between now and then, please come see us and we'll help you.
I've just started looking at the information.
Good. Jessica Warren gave you the update that my VSP employee our planner is leaving. She's going to the city of Lacey. So we will not be filling that position. I'm not going to request filling that position. And I'm looking at the contract. I'm getting a contract ready to go with Cowlitz Conservation District, but I just wanted to follow up and that the 75-25 split's probably not quite right, but we'll keep some for our administrative piece, but majority of it will go to the Cowlitz Conservation District. I think they can use it more in their field for all of their charges and their programs. So more to come on that one as I know a little more, and Darren and I have more of conversation, but we did talk Wednesday and Thursday last week. So
you mean 25% admin fee is a little bit steep?
a little bit, yeah. It's not real.
I think that's what you were talking about. You were suggesting earlier, weren't you? Typically that's, 15, 10,
Yeah, that's
15%.
probably high too.
Yeah.
They'll
My
be doing
mind
the
was
work.
elsewhere, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I'll come back with a recommendation, but I think it'll be more to the conservation district, at least as of now. And virtual inspections, I just wanted to give the board an update that we have offered this service to the public. More for mechanical type inspections, although we are offering them for several different types. And the first one will be going on this afternoon. So we've had a request for one. And so it's a mechanical inspection with one of our HVACs. So it'll be a fantastic opportunity to have the company as well as our staff kind of virtually doing it. And it's someone that we're familiar with. So it will be a good test pilot for us. So that'll be this afternoon. Super excited about that. It'll be a nice offering that we offer to the public. So, and it will help and they're, the contractor's already on site. So it just makes sense for them. They're doing the work. They can call in the inspection and then it's just live via FaceTime. So very excited.
Do you see a difference between doing that with a commercial contractor versus about a big contractor, big buildings versus individuals?
Not necessarily. It could be for either. It's just we're just glad it's somebody that we do business with often to where we can work out any kinks, and it's not just the very first time a mom and pop homeowner and we don't have maybe all of our ducks in a row.
Right. Okay. So
It's just more processes and they're used to us and they kind of know what they're doing. Sometimes we don't always have that.
and you probably haven't had a chance to, but if you were to project this as being successful, how many of your inspections would
We
be
don't know
done
yet.
visual?
We really don't know. We don't have our hand wrapped around or head wrapped around what we could offer. we'll see how this plays out and what we actually need to be on site for versus what we can do virtually.
All right. At some point, I would expect that you say, last year we did 100 inspections and we think that 75 of those this year can be through visual inspection, and you will save on fuel costs and out of.
That's what our hope
and so
is. We
forth.
have some solid numbers that we can show the board. And then these for sure we can offer, and these possibly, and these, no, we need to be on site for. So we're hoping to kind of get that list narrowed down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited about it. Like I
Yeah.
said,
It'll take you a few months to have all the details.
yes.
Yeah, okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
So Tracy, I am curious, with the virtual inspection, does that mean there will be a video recording?
No, it will be,
So it's not a public document?
no, because then we have to save it and it will be part of public records, and then people can see inside other people's houses. We don't want that liability. It'll be,
So how will you be able to verify accuracy?
well, my building official is going to be on there watching his plans examiners doing these virtual inspections, as well as he can perform them as well. So it'll be, at this point, a joint effort, making sure all the plans examiners are up to speed, but then it'll be whichever staff is available to do it, of those three, the two plans examiners or the building official.
I think part of what was being asked is also a follow-up to a discussion we had earlier today about how much video we're gonna have to store. And
We're not looking to store it at this time.
It's like a FaceTime
It's a
thing.
FaceTime thing.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just live right then and there. We can verify we're at the right address, they can prove where they're supposed to be. A lot of times the inspector on some of these have already been to the site several times. They're familiar with the insides and outsides of the house. So this isn't
Yeah.
an every inspection. It's as they can do these.
It's a video phone call.
Correct.
yeah, but I think you were also driving, how do you, like I've always been asking, how do we audit these things? Like, how do we know that the FaceTime did occur? And I just didn't check the box and said, you passed.
Well, I can work with Doug on that. They'd be
I'm
on.
not sure there is an answer.
I don't know either. They'll be
Yeah.
on our inspection sheets and, versus in person versus virtual. We keep those as part of our Laserfish system, which Kim keeps, but
You probably do need a logbook at least.
we do have that. And
Yeah.
we have the inspection sheet of who approved it and when. And it's also, that corresponds with our inspection log. So we do have that internal.
And you could maybe do audit calls a month later and say, hey, was this done?
Except you're gonna ask me on site and I just paid that guy $100 to falsify
Well,
the document.
No falsifications.
We're hoping
I know.
that more people are honest than dishonest. Yeah.
Yeah, but we do want to keep the logbooks of the phone calls from the phone record itself.
We have those.
So a FaceTime call occurred.
Yeah.
Yep, we have those.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I requesting is last week when we did executive session over some waiver of fees for particular residents, that there was a lot of stipulations along the way to get those fees waived. Can I get clarification for our environmental health unit that there was the building permit fees, which we have taken out of our system, but the environmental health unit fees need to be addressed, that they needed to be waived as well. They were $585. And our environmental health manager can't waive those until those are put in the record.
Yeah, we did that all in one shot.
You did.
I thought we
So-
did. because
You did, but I didn't.
There was two different sets there that added up to
Yeah,
a certain amount.
Yeah. So I have my building permit fees taken care of, but if it was $585. So if the board season their blessing, then she can get those fees waived from the individual as well.
Well, it's my recollection, that was part of the amount we waived, so.
She's saying yay. That's all I needed. Thank you. I just said I would bring it up. Thank you.
I take it you're next.
Good morning. Yes, I'm next with the Public Works items. So the first item we have is the Title VI assurances. So it was just a few months ago, we adopted the Title VI plan. Commissioner Weber signed the assurances because at that time he was the chairman of the board. So now I need to bring them back to you because we have switched chairman of the board. These are just the insurance languages that is on their form because it has to be the current chairman of the board in order for us to have this accepted. So Doug's recommendation was I just bring it through at the workshop since we've already reviewed and discussed these so recently to bring them forward and then provide them to Kelly to get an updated signature.
Okay,
So that's an easy one. The next item I has is on your agenda tomorrow. We have the FEMA agreement for the January 2022 storm. It is their standard agreement. The board executes it. They designate myself and one of the engineers as being able to sign off on the internal documents of, yes, this is the plan that we're doing, and get our permits running so that every time we're doing a submittal, it doesn't have to be brought forward to the board. So
Yeah.
that's why you're designating other signatories and the board signs the main contract.
I was looking that over briefly this morning for tomorrow's meeting, and it says FEMA and it has the military.
Yes, because a lot of it is processed through the Washington State Department of Emergency Management, which is part of the military
Okay,
department. So that's why it's written that way.
got it.
And that's the Italian road, Bates Creek or Bates Road.
Yes,
Yeah.
Italian Creek, Bates
Butte Hill.
Road, PH 10 and Butte Hill. And then it's also covering debris removal that we did in the emergency, which were those locations. and
We're
other
missing one road
locations.
though. That incurred a tremendous amount of damage in January of 2022. Our road.
That was March, and it also, if we were getting money, it is a federally classified road, so it would actually be WashDOT ER money, not FEMA money. So,
It's getting
So
taken
there.
care of.
so the next item, I wanted some direction. So in 1986, the state and Cowlitz County entered into an agreement. The agreement number is not that important, but the state would like to update the agreement. And what the agreement said was in 1986, the state gave Cowlitz County the ability to act as their agent to purchase properties for dredge spoil. For the Mount St. Helens dredge spoiling, because the agreement between the Corps and the state for the Mount St. Helens project. So the state is technically the local agency on that agreement, but in 1986, they came to agreement with the county that the county would be the one purchasing and leasing these facilities. So the state, knowing that this is coming up as a potential, would like to update that agreement. The agreement as it is still in place. It's been amended 4 times, I believe, mainly changing project managers. So initially it was Ken Stone, and then it became myself in 2014 or 15. So the agreement is setting basically the same items forward, includes a reimbursement amount up to $2 million to purchase these properties, and the county would also be responsible for obtaining all the needed permits in the new agreement. So before I moved forward with their draft any further, I just wanted to bring it to the board to see if they are still receptive to being the local agent for the state.
So you mentioned our responsibilities are to either purchase or lease, or is it purchase and lease?
It's either to purchase or lease the
Or lease,
sites
okay.
for dredge spoils. And then there's also some small lease agreements that we've been maintaining for decades with several property owners to allow them to place monitoring sites and some roadway access agreements, including one with Weyerhaeuser for the state and the Army Corps to access the river.
That,
So the 2 million is,
So what the agreement sets up that the county would be the one negotiating with property owners and obtaining the permits when the federal government was ready to dredge. And the 2 million would be the amount available for us to purchase and lease these properties and obtain the permits. They would reimburse us up to $2 million.
is that, the 2 million hasn't been spent?
It has not been spent. This is a new $2
This is the
million.
new 2 million.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I guess the
this
question.
would help us facilitate the letter that we just sent for the log storage pond.
It would certainly do it for free, sort of, I guess.
Well, nothing's for free, but it would
Except
be
they
our,
want the dredge spoils there.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the cost of permitting is what I was talking
Oh,
about.
the cost
yeah.
of permitting, yes, you're right.
If we, in doing this, we've done since 1986, do we, since we're making a decision on, do we incur the liability if anything? I don't know what would happen with dredge spoils, but if something they found for whatever reason, there's toxins or there's something in there, do we incur the liability for that too?
No, that's not a question I can answer. If they found toxics in what they dug out, potentially. I don't know, and it would be a question also. This is why I'm looking for direction. If we go ahead and we purchase a site and then we go and try and permit the site and all of a sudden there's, I know white-tailed deer, wolves, there's a couple birds and amphibians that are all listed species. If we end up with a site that we then can't permit, what happens for our liability in that also? So those are good
Apparently we can
questions.
call it a landfill and it'll be okay, right?
No, I think that stuff you address in the purchase contract, right? So I'm buying this piece of property for this purpose. And you warrant that this is not an old Indian grave or something.
Right.
And so forth. And if it turns out to be that way, we both walk away. Yeah, so I think that's the way you do that.
So we kind of address the liability on the purchase.
Yeah.
Oh, I can understand that. Okay.
I was thinking less the Indian grave than all of a sudden we get biologists out there and they tell me there's something out there that nobody knew of.
The best thing that could happen is those dredge spoils come out and they're loaded with platinum and gold.
Yeah. We'd probably have a reality TV show.
And I know quite a few of the locations in the past have been leased because they accept the dredge spoils and then they sell them. There is an unusual exception on Mount St. Helens dredge spoils that when you sell them, you do not have to pay the state back because everywhere else dredge spoils have a premium because they're property of the state because they came out of the river that you have to pay DNR. Well, Mount St. Helens dredge spoils have a that is waived on all of them through, I believe, 2035.
Does that apply only to the cowlets?
Only to the dredge spoils from the Toutle and the Cowlitz downstream of the Toutle.
Okay.
It's been in place for how many years? A lot of years, and it
Mhm.
doesn't seem like it's caused us any problems. So I'm inclined to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay. I will work with the state and Doug and get this moving forward and we'll bring it to you when all the things are hammered out. I would expect June.
Okay.
And so our next item is actually Patrick's. It's some pump replacement purchases that he'd like to make for the Toutle sewer system.
So Patrick, before you get started on that, I don't know if you have heard about the Riderwood project. It has been placed on Representative Perez's list for approved projects for funding for next year. But I got a note from our lobbyist that they were pretty excited of all the, it's on her list, so that is good news, but because it also frees up some ARPA funds for other projects, for other uses.
Yeah, it is good news. I appreciate all the work it
Yeah.
took to get it there, so.
Assuming the budget is approved, of course.
So, in relation to that utility, the water sewer, in Toutle, we own 4 sewer pump stations. One of the pump station, they're all duplex. One of the pump stations has a pump that's ending, is starting to fail. And it's pumping 3 times longer to pump the same amount as what the other pump pumps in a shorter time. We've received 3 bids to get it replaced, and the lowest one is $12,256 plus tax and shipping. Everything else is up around $20,000. And so we just wanted to get your thoughts and permission to move forward with it. And if you're okay with it, we'll bring it to a regular session.
Is it being rebuilt or is it actually going to be a new pump?
This will be a brand new pump. What we will do though is take the old pump, rebuild it, because rebuilt pumps only tend to last about 2 to 3 years max. And we will put it on the shelf so that when this happens next time, we can do a quick replacement and not have to worry about timelines on ordering new pumps that could cause problems.
Go ahead.
Good question. What makes the rebuilt pump so poor?
Once you, these things sit in the water, and once you open them up, it's really hard to get them fully waterproof again without, because in the factory, they are made completely waterproof. The impellers also tend to wear faster on rebuilt pumps than they do on new pumps because they're
That's
not,
just because they use a cheaper material.
probably.
Yeah, okay. So the major failure are the impellers, I assume?
Yes.
You just gotta make the motor spin faster.
We try, but the little mouse just loses all its energy.
So the funding is from reserves.
The funding is part of our operation management, so it's we're not even pulling from reserves, we're just pulling from our regular budget on this.
Just maintenance type things.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it trips over the $10,000
Yeah.
limit, and so we bring it to you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good.
Let's not let it fail, because that's
Appreciate
in my district.
So we're good. We're
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think everybody else is too, so. Anything else?
I don't have anything else unless you have something for us.
I think we're good.
We're only
Sounds
20
like
minutes
we're-
late.
We're only 20 minutes late.
We're only 20 minutes late. We appreciate your indulgence.
Okay. We'll call an end to this meeting. Thank you. You want me to hit this, Dennis? There we go.